Welcome to the AB Scout Project. I'm Krager. This is Alpha Bravo. And today we're starting off with the Bumblebee movie Thrust. Now, first and foremost, this is a recolor, slight retool of the Starscream Cybertron mold from the Bumblebee movie. And second thing is that these things are like super loose on my copy. So I'm going to take those off and not have them popping off during the whole review. So, looking at Thrust. Looks pretty good. You know, not much kibble back there. Looks really neat. Articulation-wise, pretty good. Not much in the wrist besides the transformation joint, but he's got all the other arm joints, leg joints, everything else that you want. You know, lots of tilt. You know, excess tilt. But still really good. All right, put him up beside the Starscream version of the mold. Move him over. And you see pretty much the same. It looks like they took the Blitzwing head and put it on and put this cowling on there to make it into the cone head look. Whereas Starscream got a brand new head. So that looks pretty good. Now let's put him next to the Earthrise Thrust. That is our current winner for IDW G1. And this isn't going to be an IDW G1 compare because this comes from the Bumblebee movie. And I know the coloration is supposed to come from the Armada Thrust. But I think if you got a Seeker and it's green, it should be Acid Storm. But they called it Thrust because of Armada Thrust. Anyway, let's look at the vehicle mode. And here we have Thrust in his jet mode. Looks pretty good. Very green. Very visible head in the back there. But otherwise, I like this rendition of a tri-jet. Looks pretty good. Those two things don't like to stay clamped in. But otherwise, pretty good. Alright. Bring in the Starscream version of this mold. Yeah, move Stuff Bravo out of the way for a sec. And you see basically the same thing, just all the reds and blues turn to green. But otherwise, same issue with that top panel not wanting to stay together. But otherwise, the same. Alright, bring in the Earthrise Thrust. Just to give you an idea of scale. Turn those guys up. You can see the Bumblebee is a lot longer, but again, when you stick the feet out the back like that, then it tends to make it longer. But otherwise, definitely two different continuities. Alright, let's go back for final thoughts. So to wrap things up with the Studio Series Bumblebee Thrust. Now, does he win for IDW G1? No, that's going to remain the Earthrise Thrust because that's the look we're going for. But for the Bumblebee movie, for an extra Seeker to put on the shelf right beside Starscream, I think this looks really good and it's a really fun toy. Finally for today, we're looking at the Studio Series Bumblebee Ratchet. Now this guy is from the newer batch of releases and he looks really good. Everything cleans up really well on him. He comes with his giant cannon of healing. Which is funny about this cannon is that here's the one that comes with Ratchet. And here's my version of the Sideswipe cannon based on the G1. Yeah, they gave him Sideswipe's cannon. Anyway. His cannon of healing that he can hold there. Articulation-wise. Really good. You know, everything you want. That's for transformation there. But it looks really good. Lots of thigh, again for transformation. Lots of good stuff on the knees. A little bit of ankle tilt. Not the extreme that we saw before, but good enough. I mean, he can hold a good A stance and look really good doing it. Now, I'll bring in the Earthrise Ratchet for comparison. And we see he's a bit shorter. I mean, you can see next to Alpha Bravo here, he's shorter than the old Deluxes. So they kind of changed his size class up on him, but still, he looks really good, a lot like the movie. I'm actually really happy with him. I can't wait to get the rest of the new ones with Brawn, RC, and Ironhide. I can't wait. All right, let's look at the vehicle mode. And here we have Bumblebee Ratchet in his car mode, and he looks really good. Still have the giant cannon of healing on top. I think they did a really good job of making these look like unearthly vehicles this time, unlike, say, the Siege Cybertron mold where it was a Lamborghini with a little bit of stylization on it. This actually looks like something you wouldn't drive on Earth. Mostly because you wouldn't want to ride up here for a front impact zone. But anyway, looks really good. Let's bring in the Siege here. See, the Siege is a lot longer. Of course, I customized mine, so it actually has the red cross on it. But you can definitely see what I'm talking about, where this kind of looks like an Aerostar, but they called it a Cybertron mode, where this looks like something that came from another planet or something that would be on another planet. So, there they are. Now we'll go for the final thoughts. So, lastly, with the Studio Series Bumblebee Ratchet, does this replace our IDW G1? Again, like with Thrust, it doesn't, because that's not the aesthetic we're going for. Could you use it for that if you had no other option? Yeah, sure, why not? But the Siege still remains the best for me, whereas this is a great look for the Bumblebee movie stuff. I mean, I like the posability on him. You know, the alt mode looks really cool, and it looks like he popped right out of the movie. So, still a really good toy, fun transformation. I mean, this really works well for the Bumblebee aesthetic. That's it for today. Thanks for joining us today on the AB Scout Project. If there's a character you'd like to see, put your requests in the comments below. Although there aren't too many left. Please like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, and I'll see y'all later.